What's up, y'all? So I've received and purchased over 20 electric bikes, and this has been over the last 2 years. And this has been different kind of bikes, like the big dual suspension all-terrain bike, the small commuter that you can fold up and take to an urban area, the cruiser bike. I've received different kind of bikes over the last 2 years, so I figured it'd be fun to do of all of these bikes that I've received, which ones are my top 5 favorites. So this is going to be my top 5 favorite electric bikes. But before we do that, I'm going to do a top 3 things that I think you should probably look out for before you decide to purchase an electric bike. So these are the top 3 things that I've learned in the last 2 years that I think you should look out for. Starting with the battery. Before you purchase an electric bike, make sure that you can purchase the battery of that electric bike, not only from that company's website, but maybe on AliExpress, on eBay, Amazon, somewhere else. Just make sure that that battery is accessible, because sometimes what happens is an electric bike company only created a certain amount of bikes, right? I've seen this. They only create a certain amount of bikes, and when those bikes are sold, that's it. They don't create any more. So imagine having a battery and it doesn't have like a standard charger that goes with it, or the battery goes bad. You cannot purchase that battery again. What? What that means is you're just stuck with a bike with no battery. In fact, I just had a company, I'm not gonna say the name of the company because I think they fixed the issue. They had a battery with a very unique charger that goes into that battery, right? For whatever reason, the charger just stopped working. I could not find a charger anywhere. I couldn't find it on AliExpress. I couldn't find a battery anywhere. Like, the battery had a very unique charger slot to it. I could not find it. So guess what I had to do? I had to buy another battery. And when I say another battery, I mean the same voltage and the exact same amp hour. And if you can, same brand. You want to make sure that the battery you look for has all 3. You know, mainly the voltage and the amp hour. So I had to buy another one that has a more common charger and put it on that bike. So luckily they had that battery available outside of that company, and because of that I was able to keep my e-bike. Now this is where it's beneficial to purchase a bike from a company that has newer versions of bikes available, because usually that means the company plans to be around for a while. Usually that means that they will have parts and a battery. Another thing you should do before you purchase your electric bike is look at the advanced settings of that e-bike. Maybe they have it accessible as you can download the user manual, see if they have advanced settings. But you need to make sure that you can access advanced settings on that e-bike. I say that because the pedal assist, like sometimes the pedal assist needs to be updated, or it needs to be modified. I've had some bikes where you barely pedal and it just sends you flying. So you're not getting the workout in because it's full-blown electricity even if you kind of pedal. And I've had other bikes where you have to kick that pedal so hard just to get the electricity to turn on. So it's usually you want to be able to edit that based on your riding style. So usually if you can access the advanced settings of a bike, you can see that setting. And the last thing I would advise for you to do, and this is more after you purchase your electric bike, take it to a bike shop, have them check your brakes, have them check your chain and your chain wheel, and have them check your tires. I say that because sometimes it's not the bike company's fault. Sometimes in shipping, things get dinged up a bit, you know what I mean? And other times, they've ridden your bike several times before they put it in that box. So who knows what they have done, but these bikes go way too fast to take a chance on something not being right, and you're going 28. Some of these bikes go over 30 miles per hour. So take it to a bike shop, have them look at it before you ride it. So now let's get into my top 5 favorite bikes, starting with bike number 5. If you want to purchase any of these bikes, I got links in the description below, as well as discount codes. Now coming in number 5 is my electric bike company, Model R Rugged. Now the first thing I like about this bike is I made it. What? Seriously, they have a website where you can not only pick out the color, but you can also pick out whether you want 1 battery or 2 batteries. I think if you get 2 batteries, you can go up to 150 miles per charge. You used to also be able to choose whether you want a motor in the front and the rear tire. Not sure if they took that away. You could also choose your battery size and additional features like this one.
It's gotten along.
With one motor in the rear wheel, you can go 28 miles per hour. Don't know how fast you can go if you decide to get two motors. This bike also has adjustable suspension in the front here, and you can also decide what size you want your wheel to be. Also want to mention that this bike has a thumb throttle on the left for electric only. It weighs 57 pounds and the maximum weight of the rider is 420 pounds. Now what I do like about this bike is this is my most comfortable bike. It has really large handlebar here. It took me a while to get used to it, but I actually like riding like this with the handlebar. So the large handlebar and the large tires makes for very gradual turns. And this is just a comfortable bike. Like you can ride this bike for hours and it won't feel like it. Now I will say that the tires are a little too wide for this bike. So by default, I think all of these tires are 3 inches wide. They really should be 2.5 inches wide because sometimes when you're pedaling, your chain will rub up against your tire because the tire is too wide. So what I also like about this bike is you can adjust everything. Like these advanced settings, you can pretty much change every setting with this bike. The pedal assist, the speed, everything. You can also make a lot of changes to your handlebar. Like you can change the angle of your handlebar, you can change the height of your handlebar. So you have a lot of options with this bike. I would also like to say of all of the bikes on this top 5 list, this is the bike that rides the most like a normal bike. Like I can put this on mode 0 and I won't feel any pull in the bike because there's a motor in the rear wheel here. So this is my number 5 bike, electric bike company. The price is based on what features you select. So now for number 4 we have the Himiway Cruiser. Now I call this bike Mr. Dependable. I've had it for about 2 years and the only thing I really had to change was the headlight. To be honest, and that's only because I don't like the headlight setup. I haven't even had to change the tire.
What?
And I've ridden the hell out of this bike. So this bike is very, very durable. It goes 28 miles per hour. 60 miles per charge. It has a 48 volt, 17.5 amp hour battery, 750 watt motor in the rear wheel. This bike weighs 72 pounds and the maximum weight of the rider is 350 pounds. This bike has a twist throttle. You have 5 pedal assist modes. You have a USB charger and the LCD display here. Front and rear lights. Yeah, this is a fast, durable bike and it rides really smooth, especially with the adjustable suspension in the front. For the price of $13.99, this is just a really solid bike. If you want a bike that you're not going to have to worry about. Himiway have released a new series of bikes and we already talked about how beneficial that can be. So yes, I still ride this bike when I do have ride outs and people go on bike rides with me. I volunteer for them to use this bike. This is just a really solid bike, especially for that price. Now coming in 3rd place, we have our first portable folding bike on the list, which is the WTVA Hebe. Now this is the first bike that I got where I really did have to take it to a bike shop to get it a tune-up. They had to make sure the brakes were good, they had to make sure the chain was good. But after they tuned up this bike, this became the folding bike that I ride the most. Part of that is because it's the fastest bike that I have. Like this is the fastest bike that I have in my garage right now at 34 miles an hour. And the battery life is crazy. Like it's advertised to go 55 miles per charge, but it feels more like 60 plus. I'm gonna be honest, I've never been out with this bike and had to worry about the battery life. And it's very durable. Up until recently, I've ridden this bike the most. This is the folding bike that I've ridden the most. And I've never had to change a tire. I've never had to do anything. And I've been, I don't know if you can see the tires now. I've been off-road a lot in this bike. This bike has a 750 watt motor in the rear, has a 48 volt, 13 amp hour battery. All of the batteries on this list have removable batteries. Of course, it folds. This is a folding bike. And it weighs 60 pounds. The maximum weight of the rider is 300 pounds. It has a twist throttle. It has 5 pedal assist modes. This bike has a clamp on the rear rack here, so you can put a bag back here. It has a headlight and a rear light. It has adjustable suspension And it has decent advanced settings. Like you can change things like how many pedal assist modes you want, your pedal assist level. You can change a lot in the advanced settings of this bike. But for the price of $12.89 with my discount code, you're getting a lot. This bike can also be considered a Vituvia SF20. I think they are the same company. The only difference between these two bikes is the WTVA is a little bit faster. The Vituvia is a little bit more sturdy. I think that's because the Vituvia has a quick release front wheel. So now we're going to talk about my top 2 favorite e-bikes. As you can see, I kind of changed up my swag a little bit. I'm actually about to go on my bike ride on this bike. So my second favorite electric bike is the Vitilan i7 Pro. I think this is my most versatile bike. This bike can fold. It has dual suspension. Dual suspension makes it feel like you're riding on a cloud sometimes, even when you're off-road. It has all of these bells and whistles like a horn, turning signals. You can even adjust your brake from your handlebar here. You have adjustable suspension in the front. It goes 31 miles per hour and 50 miles per charge. It has a removable 48 volt 16 amp hour battery in the body here. This bike weighs 70 pounds and the maximum weight of the rider is 330 pounds. It has a 750 watt motor. It has a thumb throttle for electric only mode. It has a colorful LCD display which also has a USB charger on it. And the advanced settings of your LCD display, you have a lot of options. You have like 15 to 20 different settings that you can change on this bike. So yeah, whether you're trying to pack up a bike and go to another neighborhood to ride around another neighborhood, or you're trying to do some off-road riding, have some fun, jumping hills, all that kind of stuff, this bike can help with all of that, you know what I mean? And let's just be honest, I mean, this is a good looking bike, at least I think it is, you know what I mean? I did change out the seat. So at the price of $14.49, with my discount code, if you're looking for a folding bike with all the bells and whistles, I highly recommend this bike. So my favorite electric bike as of right now is the Cyrusher XF900. This is the bike that I use when I want to have fun. I have the most fun on this bike. First of all, this bike has a motorcycle style front fork here and suspension in the rear here. That makes this bike really feel like you're riding on a cloud no matter what terrain you're on. Like I can be going up a hill, I can be in gravel, I can be jumping hills, and it all feels very smooth, very sturdy in this bike. Now I also think this bike is very sturdy because this is also the heaviest bike on my list at 77 pounds. And I believe the maximum weight of the rider is 350 pounds. This bike goes 31 miles per hour and a whopping 62 miles per charge. So outside of the electric bike company Model R, which you can create yourself and get multiple batteries, for a single battery, this is the best performing bike on my list. And this bike also has a lot of advanced settings on your LCD display. It has a horn and it has a twist throttle for electric only. And you also have 5 pedal assist modes. This bike has a 750 watt motor and a 48 volt 17.5 amp hour battery. But yeah, this is the bike I have the most fun on. If I want to just go and just have a good time, this is the bike that I take. I like how big it is because it's hard to miss this bike on the road. Sometimes when you're on a smaller bike, and God forbid you're on the road with cars, sometimes they act like they don't see you, you know what I mean? I've yet to have a situation where someone does not see me in this bike. This is almost a motorcycle, in my opinion. So for $23.57 with my discount code below, you can get this bike if you want a big, almost moped motorcycle style bike that's fast, that goes a long distance, that has a lot of options that you can choose from, and that's very smooth in regards to the ride. I would definitely recommend this bike. So those are my top 5 favorite bikes that I've reviewed. If you see a bike that I reviewed and it was not in the top 5 and you feel like it should be, comment below. And also comment below on what your favorite electric bike is. Also comment below. Let me know what y'all thought of my top 5. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.